You're such an asshole.
Hello, children. We got a good question here because this thought has meandered through my mind. It's not even a thought because it's true. I got several boys, but one in particular. Uh, tell me this sounds familiar, millennials. You were lied to your entire life. You did what you were told, and you found out all you did was waste nothing more than all your youth. There might be some fallout from that, psychologically speaking, but I'm not a therapist. But it's not even necessarily the concept. The fact is that when you are lied to about the real world, regardless of whether it's sexual dynamics or your career or politics, history, whatever else, when you're lied to and you base all your life decisions on that, and you find out none of it was true, you have nothing but a lot of anger, a lot of rage. So I'm sympathetic and understanding of this. Hi, Cappy, I need your advice. In August 2021, I came in contact with your content and it changed my life. Yes. Another point, Cappy, teachers 0. I just graduated in a worthless joke of a degree that time and was confused almost about everything. I swallowed the poison and went back to school for accounting while working 2 part-time jobs. In a year, I got almost all my entry exams for the CPA out of the way and got a well-paid job as a junior accountant via my professor who saw the hustle. There we go. See, winning. It's very simple. It's the reality principle. You're going to make decisions based in reality or what your teachers and parents and guidance counselors and professors tell you. Except this professor obviously had some empiricism in him. Back in 2021, you lit a fire under my ass, which I'm forever thankful for. But I also became very distressed. Like you say many times, I was lied to, but most frightening, I didn't see it at the time, and that keeps me awake at night. If it was so obvious and I couldn't see it, or others didn't tell me, what makes that I'm not making other mistakes at this moment? I read how they write it, folks. I still feel deeply ashamed for studying this long and have difficulties forgiving myself. All right, well, let's do it one at a time as it comes. Most frightening, I didn't see it at the time. What keeps me awake is I didn't see it. What else am I missing? All right. Unfortunately, that's kind of outside. It doesn't matter, red pill, blue pill. We don't always see our exposed flanks. We don't always see our flaws. And what has worked well for me, especially in today's 2022 America, is that if it sounds good, it's a lie. And people will call me pessimistic, cynical, misanthropy, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, he was right. If it sounds good, it's a lie. I don't even mean if it sounds too good to be true. Oh, Aaron, there's an army of tig-bittied redheads who want to have their way with you outside. I'm probably not going to believe that. But, oh, we got a job offer for you. Oh, you do? I mean, yeah, I believe you got a job offer, but where is the broken glass dildo you're going to shove up my ass? Where's the other shoe going to drop? And that cynicism, people would call it, that's just called life experience for me. Because tell me if I'm wrong, boys and girls, hasn't pretty much everyone lied to you? Hey, what, aren't you shocked when something goes right? Something as simple as like you get the gas, right? You put the gas thing in, it accepts your card, and it doesn't ask you a billion questions or to type in your zip code. It just gives you your damn receipt. Like, oh my God, everything went the right way. There's always an F up. There's always some kind of hookup, some kind of hang up rather. And so that cynicism, which I argue is not cynicism, but really just being not obsessively to the point it's a mental illness and you can't function, you don't trust anyone, but reeling in your expectations to have none, being cynical and skeptical of what people tell you, what they say they're going to do in society in general. It really makes sure you're not going to get hoodwinked or you're going into it eyes wide open. And I think that will make it that you you'll catch, you can never catch all your exposed flanks. You're going to catch most of them. Or if something goes wrong or goes south, you weren't expecting it to, or you weren't expecting it to go the other way, and you didn't put that much money into, you didn't put that much hope. Again, like with dating, like by the time I was probably 19 or 20, I didn't expect girls to show up for a date. And people, oh, that's so cynical, blah, 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 blah. Shut up. It was completely warranted. Like 70% of the time they would flake. And I ended up working extra shifts and making more money and not having an opportunity cost. And the rest of society, I think there's a piece of society, if not all of society, that this guy's not being a sucker. I can't dupe him. And then they hate that about you. You're like, no, get the hell out of here. So that, what people call cynicism or skepticism, is being a skeptic. I would say do that. And not in their face, like, I don't lie. Don't accuse them of lying. Like, oh, yeah, where are you going to F me over here? Wouldn't accuse you of that. Or don't accuse them of that. But you just like, again, someone gives you a job offer. Okay, cool. You go in it. You don't quit your day job. Like you work a nighttime job. You have a backup plan. You have your micro FU fund of 6 months living. But day 2, and you're not doing the job that you were told you're going to be doing, but something completely different and something you don't want to do, you walk. You don't get pissed off. You just walk. Girl says yes to a date. Okay, cool. When you're on the date, when she shows up. You don't sacrifice your Friday night. You don't give up your shift on Friday or hanging out with your buddies. You're hanging out. She says, okay, I'll meet you at 8:00. You're at the bar with your buddies waiting for her to show up. And if she shows up, cool. You leave your buddy, say, oh, my date showed up. I'm going to sit at the bar with her and talk to her. All right. But if she doesn't show up, you didn't waste your time, or you're working another shift. That is a good one, though. I didn't always, but it happened more than one time where I scheduled a shift, completely forgot that I had a date. And the girl actually showed up and called like, oh, you got to, I'm like, oh, that actually worked because it's like, I got more important things than you. You got to prove to me. So there's that. I feel deeply ashamed for studying this long and have difficulties forgiving myself. All right. Here's one thing where is it? Oh, it's on the ground. How Not to Become a Millennial. Please go get that book and read it. Do you feel guilt? Do you feel shame? Please go get that book, How Not to Become a Millennial. Because where I'm very critical of the millennial generation, I also make it very clear in the first few chapters that you guys were lied to. And you're a Zoomer, but same thing. Boomer parents and Gen X parents going to boom in Gen X. I know. You're given the wrong information. You tell me, Aaron, up on top of that hill is a pile of gold. And I'm a young 17-year-old boy and I don't know any better. And I have no reason to not believe you because you're someone that should have my best interests at heart, a parent, a teacher, a guidance counselor, a professor, a therapist, a clergyman, perhaps. All right, family, friends. And you go up to the top of the hill like there ain't no gold. Oh, well, I guess there was. Back in my day, in the 1960s, there was gold. And you got to realize that your parents, at least, I don't think were malicious, although your teachers probably were. But you had the wrong information. I was told to go to college and do what I wanted. We were told, oh God, the biggest lies ever is just be nice to girls. Just be yourself. Maybe you're fishing in the wrong hole. Maybe you just attract the wrong type of person. No, bitches be crazy. They be cray-cray. That's what it is. And not even they be crazy. They be not responsible. They be lying. They be not truthful. That's what they be. But regardless, show me the truth. That's what I list. Show me anyone except for me telling the truth. Show me anywhere in the mainstream media. Show me anywhere possible. Where did someone tell you the truth? They didn't. All of society lied to you. So much so, like your lies are what, about 10 years old now? Think about what lies are telling girls. Big is beautiful. Look at Lisa. You proud girl. You go. I mean, or I know none of you liked your lies that you got. And I know it resulted in failure or at minimum wasted time, if not totally wasted youth. Dude, be happy you're not a kid now. They got parents, teachers, guidance counselors lying to kids about their gender. And not in a healthy way, like, well, there's straight and then there's not straight. And the not straight falls into all these different categories, and you may be one of them, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. You're only 12 or 13. It'll take time to tell, but most people figure out they're straight. They like the opposite sex, but that's not the case. And that takes some time. We're here as a resource. It's like, hey, I mean, they're literally pushing surgeries now. They call it top surgeries for girls boys too. Trans type of surgeries for kids under 18, adolescents. How would you like to be lied to about that, where you're cutting off organs, genitalia? Think about those lies. I'm not saying, they're starving in Africa. I'm not like, you could have been a quadriplegic blind person. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying, would you feel guilty when your entire support structure, your family, your teachers, your community lied to you? Would you feel guilty if that was the case? You'd be pissed and angry. You wouldn't feel bad about yourself. You were given the wrong information. You were lied to. You're not at fault. Your parents, your teachers, your guidance counselor, whoever it was that gave you that information, whoever lied to you was at fault. They may not be malicious. Like your parents could be your typical boomers. I worked in 1963. Well, the girls were nice back. I don't know what's wrong with you, but in 64, I took Susie Q to the sock hop and she showed up. What do you mean purple hair? You're just fishing in the wrong hole. I mean, it's not, maybe you slap them upside the head, but I would not necessarily be angry at non-malicious lies. Teachers, absolutely, they have an agenda. Absolutely. Professors, absolutely, they wanted your money. But you are not to blame. You're absolutely not to blame. And look, you recovered. What's it like if you kept believing the lie? Like you're a 38-year-old millennial that just couldn't admit that you were hoodwinked by a bunch of socialists. You still believe in socialism and bailouts. And you're still living at home and you need government money. I mean, think about that. You actually found out you got the wrong information. You took action and changed, and now your life is better. If anything, I would be celebrating. But absolutely, I don't know how else to forgive yourself aside from saying, well, it wasn't your fault. You were given the wrong information. I mean, you can regret and rue you wasted your time, but I would not feel bad about myself at all. I thought starting to work would help overcome the distress, but it didn't. It is like a certain switch that turned on last year. And although my life became objectively better, I can't turn the switch off. It is to the extent that even doing basic exercise in preparation of the CPA exam gives me anxiety and heart palpitations. All right, well, okay, hold on. All right, this may be legit mental problem. Okay, so if you are having physical, biophysiological symptoms, yeah, that's something you got to go talk to someone else. But let's also put things in perspective. All right. I always love people saying, I'm depressed. Well, why? Well, my dad abandoned my mom. My mom was a single mom whore. We're poor. Do I have a mental condition? It's like, no, you're perfectly healthy. You should be depressed. Your life sucks. It's like, yeah. Again, it's not, if you're depressed, that's fine. The guy you got to worry about is like, zippity doo dah, zippity yay, my, oh my, I have a horrible life. That's the guy with the problem. You're studying for the CPA. You're coming from behind. You did not have good, stable, at least advice in the background. You have suffered. I can't actually say, I don't know what the psychological definition of trauma is why I use PTSD somewhat loosely, more of a concept than an actual description. You had bad times. You're studying hard. You're working hard. Yeah, you're going to have stress. To the extent doing basic exercise in preparation for CPA gives me anxiety and heart palpitation. Well, why don't you back off? Why don't you take a vacation? Do you have to pass the CPA like this month? Can you wait 6 months and just take it easy? Like you're starting to work. Wait, You have a job as a junior accountant. Okay. There's no rush to get the CPA, man. Why don't you take a breather? All right. I would go and talk to an actual therapist if you're having physical symptoms like heart palpitations over the stress. But why don't you just, what? Do you got a wife to support? Do you have kids to support? Is there a rush? Get your CPA and there's no rush, man. You'll be fine. Seriously, take 4 months off. Scale down your studying schedule, right? Get some good sleep. That's what I would do. So you're pushing too hard there. Honestly, I don't know why I figured out it has nothing to do with accounting itself, since I have small moments where I really enjoy the work. Yeah, no, it's the accounting. It's the amount of work you got. Your brain can't be looking at debits and credits all day and then studying for a CPA where you look at more debits and credits. Scale back. Take it easy. Even if it's just taking off 2 weeks, that's fine. But can you kick the whatever stage CPA exam you got coming up next? Can you kick it down a little bit? Further, I still live at home and am 25. I think that's absolutely just and fine, given the failed information your parents gave you. That's perfectly fine. And especially in light of how expensive the millennials voted all the free monies and gimme-dats. And now that money has entered into the housing market, although it's coming down because we're increasing interest rates and rents have been driven up consequently. Fine, live at home. There's no reason to spend $1,500 a month on a place. That's a waste of money. My father was a beta soy boy Christian, almost 40,000. Oh, period. You have a 40,000 net work, always work multiple jobs as student, and tuition here is free. Hit the gym 2 times a week and looking into some relaxing hobbies as fishing. All right. Let's postpone the CPA and why don't you go fishing? Like now. Now. That's good. You got balance. You don't have to worry about rent. I would not worry about your dad being a soy boy Christian. That's pretty much every Christian nowadays, unless you're Orthodox. That's I wouldn't even let that bother you. You got other fish to fry. Hopefully, literally, if you catch a good sized fish. How would you deal with the underlying stress? What do you think the solution is? Could you make a video on this, please? I hope you understand which impact you had on me, for which I'm extremely thankful. The YouTube algorithm or God gave me a second chance to build my life of better values. Talent on loan from God. No one's going to get that. Is it a crime we don't give this advice to people earlier in life? Right, it is. It is a crime. But thank God we don't, because I have a job. I need parents and teachers to keep lying to the kids, man. Otherwise, I'd have to get a real job. Yeah, it is a crime. Make sure you don't do it to your kids. There it is. That's how simple it is. How would you deal with the underlying stress? What do you think the solution is? Could you make a video response, please? All right. So here's first thing is to assess what's going on. That's why I call it blue pill PTSD. Have you suffered genuine trauma? I don't think so. Not really. I mean, because like if you're in war and getting shot and blown up, okay, that's real trauma. But using PTSD as kind of an allegory, is that the word I'm looking for, or some parallels? You have went through a traumatic event, a trauma light event. Also, it was long term. Trauma, I think, has to be short and punchy and quick. Right? But you've come from a bad environment. You were lied to, and the consequences of which is that you wasted a significant percentage of your youth. There is also the psychological damage you incur from finding out you were lied to. And, wasting your youth is no joke. That's all you got is your time. And your youth is supposed to be the best years of your life. And so, yeah, you should be pissed. They call it red pill rage, whether you were lied to about your career, God, politics, whatever else. When you're lied to, you're like, I wasted my time, my energies, my thoughts. So there's some damage you incur there. I kind of don't want to use the word trauma. But you have sustained damage, wasted times. There has been a price you paid both financially, chronologically, and mentally following lies. which I think describes pretty much all the millennial generation, all the Zoomers, and soon to be Alpha, because modern day parents are just as pansy and pussy as their predecessor boomer parents, right? And so there is going to be a healing period, a recovery period. So and it kind of goes like this. All right, you're lied to. You find out you're lied to. All right. You go through an anger, pissed off phase. Right? Then you get a choice. Do I remain angry or do I do something about it? And you have decided to do something about it. You found out what reality was. You got other people, they choose nothing to do about it, demand government bailout, or even worse, they double down. Maybe I didn't get enough education in women's studies. I need a doctorate. We also see this within the Black community. Like, look, Democrat Party's been lying to you. That's why you're poor. You keep following their advice, and it's horrible advice. That's why you're poor. It ain't the white men in the Senate or white men in jail. You make bad decisions that the Democrats tell you and enable you to make. Stop doing that. And then you get a choice. You say, oh my God, I was lied to. And you should really hate the Democrat Party, because I don't know how many generations of post 65 of the Black community Democrats have kept in poverty. You guys grab your pitchforks and torches and go. Or, oh, double down, believe it. Oh yeah, it's not me. It's the white man's fault. It's, that you can see this in any group. In Indonesia, it's the ethnic Chinese, and here in the white nationalist area, it's the Jews, whatever. But you made the choice. You made the empirical choice. This is what's happening in the real world. I was told to major in dumb crap. It doesn't have a job at the end of it. I'm going to go back to school and major in the right thing, which you do. Now you're pursuing your CPA, and you already have progress. All right. And this recovery time, not only do you have to recover from, well, I was lied to. Why did people lie to me? Which you can mull over and maybe need to talk to a therapist about that. But this recovery time also includes making up for lost time and making up for the mistakes you were lied to make. Not that you made them consciously. All right. Not that you're at fault, but you made mistakes. You made the wrong choices. And now you got to make up for lost time. And now you're double timing it, which is what you're doing. The point will come, and in your case, it's rapidly coming. And in some senses, you're already there as you're working as an accountant already. The point will come, you'll get back to even, or in your case, a little bit further ahead. And then your life is on a trajectory towards success. But what happened in the past has happened. It will never leave you. I mean, people like, it'd be like me. How do I get over going to a cult of an extremist Christian religion, variety of Christianity? You don't. Like, I'm not kidding. I would love to find my teachers. I have looked them up, and I wouldn't do anything illegal, but I would love nothing more to read the right. I found out that a friend of mine actually ran into our old principal, and I actually thought to myself, like, I don't know if I could help myself from punching the guy. Really. But I mean, you can't get rid of that. I mean, oh, forgive. Yeah, but don't forget. You can't. It happened. And good. I mean, think about it on a good sense. I remember catching a really big fish in South Dakota, the biggest fish I ever caught. I mean, now, that has good positive effects to this day, microscopic as it might have been. But how do you get rid of that memory? You don't. It happened. The issue is whether you're going to take action to counter those bad things that happen, to counter the time lost, to counter the trauma light, to make it so that you live a good life. But you never, and you're going to waste more time and energy trying to figure out how to get over that, where I'm saying, don't get over it. You have every legitimate right to be pissed off about it, and make sure that doesn't happen to future kids in the future. You're like, oh yeah, there were bullies, and people like, oh yeah. Oh man, I would love to hunt them down, man. I would love to, but it's not practical. It'd also be illegal, right? I got more important stuff to do, but I'll never forget. Absolutely. And what you should do then, if you want to take lemons and make lemonade out of it, here's what you do. You think those people are going away? You think there's no future generations of these genuine liars and cheats and scumbags, or innocently naive people like your father? You think that this problem won't be in the future for future generations? If you want to do something about it, make sure people don't suffer like you did. All right? People say, well, don't send your kids to parochial school. Go to private school. Don't go to parochial school. Don't attend the Wisconsin Synod. Right? If you can, homeschool your children. Why? Because Democrats, no, because school is a horrible environment for children. And public school teachers are absolute rank Marxist indoctrinators. And it's not good for your kids. I'm doing good there. Same thing with you. You got your buddies, a younger brother, younger sister. I want to major in philosophy. Stop them. Say no. Or if they come out of it, say, look, here's what happened. You can at least explain it to them. But there is no getting rid of the past. And the more you try to fight that, I think the worse off that's at least wasted mental energy. So for people suffering from the blue pill, because look, every young person alive today has been lied to. And not even so young anymore. The millennials are getting up into their 40s now. You have to admit what happened. You were lied to. You have to admit that you are wrong, even though you were led to those wrong conclusions. You have to make a choice, and that the only correct answer to that choice is to start making choices in the real world. And then the other thing is, if you need therapy, go talk to a therapist about it. But otherwise, stop mulling over the past or worrying about the past. It happened. You can't undo it, but make sure it doesn't happen to future generations. And there's going to be two types of people that come out of it. Those that had regrettably a bad past or a wasted past or a lied to past, a wasted and inefficient past. And then the other, but they went on to do and accomplish great things and did not waste their lives. Or those that sat there in self-pity and mired in boo-hoo-hoo, I need government bailout. Oh, boo-hoo-hoo. The boomers lied to me. Oh, boo-hoo-hoo. I need an assistance. I need the stimmy checks. And there's just another, literally, generation wasted. Lives completely wasted. And worse, those people are going to perpetuate the same lies with the idea that, well, the government should bail you out. Anytime you were lied to, anytime something bad happened, the government should bail you out. Which future generations are going to be so tempted by that they themselves will never go on that path of consciousness, awareness, and empiricism and make an actual progress in their life. And they'll just be damned to a miserable, pissed off life. Because seriously, I know you're from a different country, but look at here. All the younger Zoomers and millennials, even Gen X that got bailed out by Biden for the student loan bails of either $10,000 or $20,000. Take a Gen Xer. There's no doubt some Gen Xers in there. You're in your 40s and 50s. Do you think a $10,000 or $20,000 bailout by that time is going to change whether or not your life is going to be happy or not? I get a kick out of everyone says what they can. I can finally start my family now. I can finally start my business. I'm like, if $10,000 to $20,000 at the age of 50 is what has prevented you from having a family or a business, you are going to fail in both regards. It is over. Your life is over. Your life is miserable. And you're well on your way not to be miserable. And so, yeah, with that blue pill PTSD, yeah, it exists. It exists at maybe not to the official PTSD level, but yeah, it's what happens when you're lied to. So what are you going to do about it now? You're doing everything you can, but man, stop working so much so you stop having heart palpitations. Maybe go talk to a therapist. I recommend histherapist.com. And then, yeah, you got to forgive yourself. I wouldn't be, I don't know about you, but I'm angry. I was never like, oh, I feel so bad. I am rage. You wonder where my hatred for the boomers comes from? Because I was lied to. It's never going away, but I'm turning it in. I'm taking lemons and turning into lemonade, trying to help younger people not make the mistakes that the boomers tell them to do. All right, link below, I think, is Bachelor Pad Economics. I also have the menu for things for you to find out to do. And link, more importantly, would be Sanity is the Future of Wealth. That will help you youngins appreciate how sanity, it really is a luxury going into the future, because just imagine being so unplugged into the matrix. All right, super chats real quick. Alex Bogey for $5. The problem for me after I took the red pill is walking on eggshells around blue-pilled people such as coworkers, girls, and some relatives. Yeah, that is the problem. But when you get to my level, you learn like those are targets and you can take advantage of them then. Because it's one thing to lie to children. It's another thing when they're adults voting like, you benefited because of privilege or this or that, and it's your fault, and you're an historism. And then I'm like, okay, time to lie to you some more and take your money, which is where Operation Evil comes from. But yeah, you got to play the game. You got to play the game. So many people have all their value tied up in with traits they were born, and this warped Marxist socialist philosophy that you exist, therefore you're amazing and brave and great because you have these politics that ultimately just means take more of other people's money away. So you just pat him on the head. That's nice. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm totally down with Hillary. I voted for her. Yep. Zip. That's it. Boom. Okay. See you guys later. Toodles.